Welcome to the Create More Intimacy podcast. I'm Elisa Stoddard, and I help men stop chasing sex and start building real connection so they finally feel close, connected, and wanted again. Do you ever walk into your own house and feel like a stranger? You're doing everything right, like paying the bills, staying calm, not picking fights, but somehow there's still this distance. The silence, the short replies, the feeling like you're walking on eggshells. And maybe you're thinking, I don't even know how we got here. Today, I want to talk about something I see constantly with men I coach, and it's this. Avoiding conflict doesn't protect your relationship. It disconnects you from it. We're going to unpack why avoiding the hard stuff actually does more harm than good, and what you can start doing differently if you want to feel close again. Because if you've been quiet to keep the peace, but all you feel is distance and resentment, this episode's for you. Let's get real about conflict. Most men I work with don't avoid it because they're weak. They avoid it because they've learned, often through years of experience, that conflict ends badly. Maybe when you brought something up in the past, it turned into a fight, or she cried or shut down. Or you felt like nothing you said came out right, so you just say nothing. And listen, I get it. You're trying to keep things stable, and you don't want to make things worse, that's for sure. But the silence, it doesn't solve the problem. It just shifts the burden inward. That pressure builds, but now no one knows what's really going on. And over time, you become more like roommates than lovers. The cost of avoidance is resentment and distance and emotional drift. I'm going to tell you about a client that first came to me, and honestly, he was exhausted. He told me, it's like I'm always one wrong word away from everything blowing up. He thought he was keeping things calm by staying quiet, taking on more around the house, and just not making waves. But what he didn't realize was that his wife felt completely alone. She thought he didn't care, and that he didn't want to work on things, and that distance just grew. Meanwhile, he thought he was doing everything right by staying calm and avoiding the conflict. They were both suffering, but neither knew how to reach each other. When he started speaking up, not in a defensive or aggressive way, not where he was trying to make his case, but with clarity and ownership, that's when everything started to change. He learned how to name what he was feeling without blaming her or anybody else or even himself. He learned how to stay present in uncomfortable conversations, and he learned how to not shut down or just power through. And maybe, most importantly, he started taking responsibility for how he was showing up. That shifted the dynamic immediately. It wasn't about fixing her or making her do something differently or waiting it out, waiting for her to bring it up or do something differently. It was about him learning how to show up as a calm, connected partner, not just as the quiet one. This is the part most men skip over. They think, if I say the wrong thing, it'll just start a fight. Or, she's the one who gets emotional, so what is the point? But here's what I tell every man I work with. You are responsible for how you show up in your relationship. Not for her reactions, not for every single problem, but for your part, your energy, your tone, your presence or lack thereof. Avoidance is still a choice. Silence is still a pattern. And if you don't take ownership of that, you'll stay stuck wondering why nothing's changing. And quietly resenting everything. Taking responsibility doesn't mean that you take the blame. It means that you stop outsourcing your power to something else. You stop waiting for her to bring up difficult conversations. You stop hoping that things will somehow magically improve. You stop numbing out or withdrawing. or exploding after weeks of holding it in. And instead, you start doing the work of showing up differently. That might mean saying, I know I've been quiet, and I don't want to keep avoiding things. I just want us to feel close again. Or it might mean learning how to express disappointment or frustration without using that as a weapon. This work is not easy, but it is powerful. When you take responsibility for your part in the equation, everything changes because you stop reacting and you start leading. And that's what your relationship needs. Not a perfect man, and definitely not a fixer. Just a steady, grounded human who's willing to face the hard things with compassion. So if you've been avoiding conflict in the name of keeping peace, but all you feel is disconnection, this is your wake-up call. You're not broken, and you're not too far gone. But you do need to learn a better way to handle hard things so that you don't keep pushing away the very intimacy you want. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. If something in this episode hit home, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps more men find the support they need. And if you are ready to get help or take the next step, you'll find the link to book a free call in the show notes. I'll see you next time.